What's happening, people? Dan here for West Ham Fan TV, and I am back with another transfer video. As you know, they've been a bit scarce lately since there's been pretty much bugger all news going around. It's been very, very quiet on the West Ham front in terms of transfers. But a big bit of news has just come out, very, very interesting, that Marko Arnautovic has submitted a transfer request to Stoke. He wants to leave the club. Now the rumour is that West Ham submitted a 15 million bid and it was rejected by Stoke, and that's what's triggered Arnautovic to make the transfer request. He's currently on training with them, I think in Austria or somewhere like that. So very, very interesting. Now I think there's been a sort of slightly mixed reaction, probably mostly positive towards this, the idea of us signing Arnautovic. It's not the sort of marquee striker sort of sign that we've been looking for, but we really do need a left winger. We haven't got one at the club at the moment. Any time that we do sort of want to play a player on the left, it seems to be Lanzini gets pushed out there. So having a left winger will give us a lot more flexibility in terms of formation and tactics. You know, if we're playing like a 4-5-1 type of system, you can have Arnautovic on the left with Lanzini in the middle where he needs to be, and then Antonio on the right, and then hopefully a top striker up front, because we know Sacco and Carroll, who are only real first choice strikers left at the club, are not going to be fit. So having a look at some of his stats from last season, it's looking pretty impressive. So he scored 7 goals in 35 appearances for Stoke last year, which is pretty decent for a winger. He got 5 assists and also scored 3 international goals last year. So that's pretty good. You know, he's got goals to his game. He can get pitching with some assists. I think he got 12 goals the season before for Stoke, so he knows where the back of the net is. So that's pretty good. If we've got him, you've got Lanzini pitching in, we know Antonio likes to score, and if we've got a top striker, then that's going to be a pretty decent forward line. If we can get Hernandez, can you imagine that front sort of 4 setup of Arnautovic, Lanzini, Antonio and Hernandez? I think this is the sort of signing we need to make. I mean, I know we should be prioritising strikers right now, but it doesn't mean that if there's an opportunity to sign someone who's not a striker, who's a good player, that you shouldn't go for it. Just jump on it. If he's submitted a transfer request, put in the money. I reckon 20 million will probably do the business. 20 million and he's ours. And then if we do go for Hernández, we can get him for 13 million due to the release clause. So, but I'm more on Hernández in a minute. But so, that I say we just go for it. That is a very good sign. Like I said, a left winger is, since the start of the window, I've been saying we need a left winger. And this is a good opportunity for us. I really don't think Stoke want to lose him. They're trying to keep hold of him, but his heart's not in it. His head's been turned. So speaking of Hernández, little update on the situation is that he wants apparently 140 grand in wages. I think that's what he's currently getting. He wants to maintain those wages. So, but I think the club are trying to negotiate, get the wages down, and I just think just pay the bloody wages. At the end of the day, he's a top player, he's a goal scorer, he's got Premier League experience. Pay the wages. If he wants 140 grand, because here's what happens, right? You go, alright, we'll give you 90 grand plus a couple of bonuses, take you up to, you know, 100, 110, 115 grand. And he's going, nah, I don't really fancy that. Other clubs will be interested, or by the time you're spending all this time negotiating, that some other club will probably come in and go, oh, here's 140 grand a week, come to us. And that's what seems to happen with our transfers quite often, is that we spend all this time negotiating and trying to bargain and haggle and stuff like that. Then other clubs, it gives them time to come in and nick them off us. So if he wants 140 grand, pay it to him. Now there's a lot of talk, a lot of sort of people against this saying, look, it's going to upset other players who have just signed deals, who are on less wages. And I do think that the timing of signing those deals was probably not ideal when you're looking to sign new players. But at the end of the day, those players should be, you know, happy that we're showing ambition. You know, if you're, say you're on Lanzini now, Lanzini is reported to be on 90 grand a week, which is a massive raise. So I think he's going to be pretty happy with that. And so now if you get Hernandez coming in, who's an experienced player, played at the top level, and he's on 140 grand a week. I can see Lanzini only being happy and thinking, right, I've got a top striker in front of me, knows where the back of the net is. It's when you don't show ambition. If we don't start signing top strikers, we don't start getting good players in, that's going to upset the players, because Lanzini's going to start to get a lot of interest. I think this season is going to be his real top season for him this year. I can really see it, and then that's going to start to generate interest. And if we have a season very similar to the one we've just had, we get like a 12th, 13th, mid-table finish, I think, and you know, you have another club, you have Liverpool maybe coming for him, he'll go, I'm out of here, you're not showing ambition. Which is partly sort of what happened with Payet last summer, is we didn't really show any ambition. We didn't sign any top strikers like we said we would. We gave it all the talk and we didn't really end up signing any decent players. And Payet just, I think that's the moment he sort of had his head out the door. There was other circumstances, but he's come out and said that was a big part of it. He sort of felt a bit betrayed by the board when he was sort of signed the new deal and said, look, we're going to really go for it in the transfer market. So that's what we need to do. That could very much, Antonio is the same, Lanzini, all them players, we need to show them ambition. And here's the thing, if you don't pay top wages, you're not going to sign top players. You can't just have this cap of 90 grand or whatever and expect to attract top talent to your club. Otherwise, we're only ever going to get average strikers if we're only willing to pay average wages. Yeah, I'm not saying go out and start spending 200 grand or something, but 140 is reasonable. When you think that Payet went up to 120 grand a week, it's only 20 more than that, and it's a striker, which is a very, very important part of the pitch. Very hard to get a striker who can bang in some goals in the Premier League, and he's the one to get. So just pay the bloody money, give him what he wants, and let's get Hernandez in, and then we can look at another striker, get Arnautovic, get Hernandez, another striker. I'm happy. Maybe Joe Hart on loan, see how it goes. Before I go, I just want to mention I will be on the Three Hammers podcast this Thursday. It will be out. Tweet at the Three Hammers, get some questions in for me. It can be anything about me, it could be about West Ham, it could be about any of the stuff I do on West Ham Fan TV. You know, I do a lot of filming, editing, as well as in front of camera, and loads of different ins and outs and different bits and pieces for West Ham Fan TV. So if you have any questions, tweet them at the Three Hammers. You can find me at The Lawless. It should be a very good show. There's a lot going on, a lot to talk about. So make sure you check it out on Thursday. Don't forget to keep your eye out for Thames Ironworks Community Football Club stuff. That's right, we are going to be on Bull Street participating in this tournament, the Fan League Cup. So keep your eye out for that. We've got friendlies coming up that's all going to be filmed. We've got a lot of content going to be coming up for that ahead of the Sunday League season. So keep your eye out for that. Loads more content will start to become. We're getting closer now. The transfer window is picking up. We've got some on the socials coming up. Nicky's going to be back with some videos. And that's it. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.